Chapter 78. Then Adam said to Eve, "Behold, the children are grown up. We must think of finding wives for them." Then Eve answered, "How can we do it?" Then Adam said to her, "We will join Abel's sister in marriage to Cain, and Cain's sister to Abel." Then said Eve to Adam, "I do not like Cain, because he is hard-hearted. But let them stay with us until we offer up to the Lord on their behalf." And Adam said no more. Meanwhile, Satan came to Cain in the figure of a man of the field, and said to him, "Behold, Adam and Eve have taken counsel together about the marriage of you two, and they have agreed to marry Abel's sister to you, and your sister to him. But if it was not that I love you, I would not have told you this thing. Yet, if you will take my advice and obey me, I will bring to you on your wedding day beautiful robes, gold and silver in plenty, and my relations will attend you." Then Cain said with joy, "Where are your relations?" And Satan answered, "My relations are in a garden in the north, where I once meant to bring your father Adam, but he would not accept my offer. But you, if you will receive my words, and if you will come to me after your wedding, you shall rest from the misery in which you are, and you shall rest and be better off than your father Adam." At these words of Satan, Cain opened his ears and leaned towards his speech. And he did not remain in the field, but he went to Eve his mother, and beat her, and cursed her, and said to her, "Why are you planning to take my sister to wed her to my brother? Am I dead?" His mother, however, quieted him, and sent him to the field where he had been. Then, when Adam came, she told him of what Cain had done. But Adam grieved and held his peace, and said not a word. Then on the next morning, Adam said to Cain his son, "Take of your sheep, young and good, and offer them up to your God, and I will speak to your brother to make his God an offering of corn." They both obeyed their father Adam, and they took their offerings and offered them up on the mountain by the altar. But Cain behaved haughtily towards his brother, and shoved him from the altar, and would not let him offer up his gift on the altar, but he offered his own on it with a proud heart, full of guile and fraud. But as for Abel, he set up stones that were near at hand, and on that he offered up his gift with a humble heart, and free from guile. Cain was then standing by the altar on which he had offered up his gift, and he cried to God to accept his offering. But God did not accept it from him, neither did a divine fire come down to consume his offering. But he remained standing over against the altar, out of humour and meanness, looking towards his brother Abel to see if God would accept his offering or not. And Abel prayed to God to accept his offering. Then a divine fire came down and consumed his offering, and God smelled the sweet savour of his offering, because Abel loved him and rejoiced in him. And because God was well pleased with him, he sent him an angel of light in the figure of a man who had partaken of his offering, because he had smelled the sweet savour of his offering, and they comforted Abel and strengthened his heart. But Cain was looking on all that took place at his brother's offering, and was angry because of it. Then he opened his mouth and blasphemed God, because he had not accepted his offering. But God said to Cain, "Why do you look sad? Be righteous, that I may accept your offering. Not against me have you murmured, but against yourself." And God said this to Cain in rebuke, and because he abhorred him and his offering. And Cain came down from the altar, his colour changed, and with a sad face, and came to his father and mother and told them all that had befallen him. And Adam grieved because God had not accepted Cain's offering. But Abel came down rejoicing and with a gladsome heart, and told his father and mother how God had accepted his offering. And they rejoiced at it and kissed his face. And Abel said to his father, "Because Cain shoved me from the altar and would not allow me to offer up my gift on it, I made an altar for myself and offered my gift on it." But when Adam heard this, he was very sorry, because it was the altar he had built at first, and on which he had offered his own gifts. As to Cain, he was so resentful and so angry that he went into the field, where Satan came to him and said to him, "Since your brother Abel has taken refuge with your father Adam, because you shoved him from the altar, they have kissed his face, and they rejoice over him far more than over you." When Cain heard these words of Satan, he was filled with rage, and he let no one know, but he was laying wait to kill his brother until he brought him into the cave. And then he said to him, "Oh, brother, the country is so beautiful, and there are such beautiful and pleasurable trees in it, and charming to look at. But, brother, you have never been one day in the field to take your pleasure in that place. Today, O my brother, I very much wish you would come with me into the field to enjoy yourself and to bless our fields and our flocks, for you are righteous, and I love you much, O my brother. But you have alienated yourself from me." Then Abel consented to go with his brother Cain into the field. But before going out, Cain said to Abel, "Wait for me until I fetch a staff because of wild beasts." Then Abel stood waiting in his innocence. But Cain, the froward, fetched a staff and went out. And they began, Cain and his brother Abel, to walk in the way, Cain talking to him and comforted him to make him forget everything.